A very good evening and welcome to UBC News Tonight, today on the 7th of August 2022 with me SHARON Kyomugisha and Magalu Mohammed on sign language. In our top stories of the day, we start off with very good news where a long-distance runner, Jacob Kiplimo, did it again on Saturday when he won yet another golden medal for Uganda in the 5,000-meter race at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Having earlier won gold in the men's 10,000 meters final, the 21-year-old Ugandan runner reciprocated the form, beating Kenyans to the podium and showing them a clean pair of heels. Kiplimo posted a time of 3 minutes 8 and 8 seconds to beat Nicholas Kimeli, who came second, whereas Jacob Krop, another Kenyan, posted 13 minutes to complete the podium spot by posting a time of 3 minutes. Kiplimo ran his seasonal best so far in the 5,000 meters race to ensure he bagged his second medal at the ongoing Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, the first one in the 10,000 meter race. In total, Uganda has registered 5 medals, 3 of these are gold and 2 bronze. Well, I beg your pardon, I'll correct that Kiplimo posted a time of 3 hours, 8 minutes and 8 seconds to beat Nicholas Kimeli, who came second on 13, 8 and 18, whereas Jacob Krop, another Kenyan, posted a few hours to complete the podium spot. Now, moving on from that story, the First Lady, who also is the Minister of Education and Sports, has commended the Works African Evangelistic Enterprise in the country. She was speaking during the celebrations of the Golden Jubilee of the African Evangelistic Enterprise in Uganda, held at Makerere University, Kampala. Now, the First Lady, Janet Museveni, applauded the effort of the organization at promoting the education of children and different communities, which has promoted social and economic transformation. Details follow.
Thank you.
The First Lady, who is also the Minister of Education and Sports, has applauded African Evangelistic Enterprise, AEE, for participating in the country's development. This was during the celebrations marking 50 years of the organization's founding by late Bishop of Kigezi, the Right Reverend Festus Chivenjere. The celebrations were held at Makerere University rugby grounds, and the First Lady, Janet Museveni, officiated the event. She thanked late Bishop Festus Chivenjere for the initiative and staying true to the great mission.
I become so emotional remembering that time and how difficult that time was. But that Bishop Chivenjere didn't mind that he was putting himself at risk, because identifying with us would make his own life at risk. But he overlooked that, and he was willing to stand out and help our family in a very difficult circumstance.
The First Lady also saluted the African Evangelistic Enterprise for partnering with government, especially at the level of early childhood development.
I have learned about your effort at promoting the education of children with disabilities, and also community savings groups for community empowerment. This speaks volumes about your commitment to continue to walk the talk of discipling God's people through the word and deed, in partnership with the church, for which I salute you again. And as many of you probably know, many of these institutions are really devoid of the knowledge of God. It's our challenge in our generation now. As you may remember, in the olden days, many of our schools were founded by religious groups. Each school had a chapel in their compound, and Scripture Union was very active in schools. Our children, therefore, did not only develop intellectually, but in every aspect of their lives, including the spiritual aspect.
The former Prime Minister of Uganda, Dr. Rugunda, and the Minister of Industry, David Bahati, who are among the beneficiaries of evangelism of the African Evangelistic Enterprise, also thanked the organization for the continued service for the community.
And those of us who have benefited from that great work can be registered so that posterity will know that at one time Uganda was in big problems, but a core of church and religious leaders stood together and championed the cause for the Ugandans.
Bishop Festo Kivengeri got in touch with Strome Foundation in Norway and attracted them to start a ministry in Uganda. They established themselves in Kigezi Diocese and started helping orphans, paying their school fees and changing their lives. Strome Foundation paid my school fees, bought me a mattress, books and a Bible, and to me, they were a good Samaritan in my life.
The Archbishop Emeritus Enweru Colombi expressed the need to build a monument and document all that is related to the founder, the late Bishop Festo Kivengere, for his service towards the church.
The reason why our church cannot grow, we don't honor the legacy of those who have gone by. Many of you don't even know Erika Sabiti, the first Archbishop Ugandan. Some of you don't even know Janani Luum. Perhaps Janani Luum is better because we commemorate him during Martyrs' Day. But Silvano Swani, we don't know these guys. Yona Koth, we don't know these guys. We need to celebrate the heroes of our church. We need to celebrate the revivalists who preach the gospel.
Inaugurating that office, to see that we stand on very, very strong foundations in people like Bishop Festo and, of course, Michael Cassidy down in Southern Africa.
The African Evangelistic Enterprise was founded in 1971 during the late Idi Amin regime by the then Bishop Festo Kivengere, who died in 1988. Robert Katamba, UBC News.
In more stories, the Vice President, Major Jessica Lupo, has asked leaders of Busoga to mobilize and rally the people of Busoga to stir development and transform the sub-region. Lupo said there's need for leaders in Busoga to unite and rally the people and friends of Busoga to stir Busoga's development to regain their lost glory. Take a look.
Vice President Major Jessica Alupo has appealed Busoga sub-region to embrace Busoga Development Consortium, a development arm of the area. Alupo thanked parents who have supported their children throughout the education cycle. Alupo said the government will continue to work with leaders of Busoga to effectively deliver services to the people.
I would like to thank His Highness for physically coming here to this ceremony to demonstrate the fact that education should always be given the first priority. And from his message, he has also highlighted that people of Busoga should educate the children. So, Your Highness, I would like to thank you on the personal note for showing all the subjects of Busoga that where there is education is where there is life, is where there is a future, is where there is development.
Alupo appealed to embrace parish development model, a government strategy or approach for organizing and delivering public and private sector interventions for wealth creation and employment generation at the parish level as the lowest economic planning unit. She was attending the graduation party of Timothy Kadaga, a son to the first Deputy Premier and Minister for East African Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, at Buzaya, Kamuli District. She applauded Timothy Kadaga for being a person of such character. She promised to put issues of Busoga at the forefront, including addressing the road network and the roads and the railway infrastructure.
all of them. Nursery, P1, going to school in Uganda, going to school at Gayasa, going to school in where and where. He did a great job.
She thanked the Chabazinga of Busoga, William Gabulana Diop IV, for encouraging the people of Busoga for treating education as a priority. The celebrations were attended by NRM National Vice Chairman Alhaji Moses Chigongo, FDC Vice President Salam Musumba, Minister for General Duties Kasule Lumumba, and the Chabazinga of Busoga Kingdom, William Gabulana Diop. Gabula noted that many children have attained education in the hands of Kadaga, including Basoga and non-Basoga children. The Chabazinga advised the graduates to begin learning life skills including hard work, integrity and discipline, which help you to succeed in life, noting that under the Gabula Education Fund, they intend to extend scholarships to over 300 vulnerable children in the kingdom.
Moving on from that, the Prime Minister Robert Nabanja has donated 50 million Ugandan shillings towards the construction of Bishop Chihanjire Memorial Hotel at St. Mary's Kagadi Catholic Parish. Nabanja was officiating Silver Jubilee celebrations for St. Mary's Kagadi Catholic Parish. Take a look.
The Prime Minister Robina Nabanja has laid a foundation stone for the construction of a multi-billion Bishop Chihangire Memorial Hotel at St. Mary's Kagadi Catholic Parish. She donated 50 million shillings towards the construction of the hotel and assured Kagadi residents of President Museveni's support to St. Mary's Kagadi Catholic Church.
A hotel, a Yomurembe 5-star. Mulisa n'okimanya ngu twina kukwataniza nk'abakristo kurora ngu omulimo ogwo tugumala. Hati nyowe nja kuteekayo miliyoni 5 njazisasula mu bitweka 2.
The Bishop of Hoima Catholic Diocese, Vincent Chilabo, who led a Thanksgiving Mass and commissioning of a new Catholic church, thanked President Museveni for the appointing of Nabanja as the Prime Minister.
President tatweberwe nakusagika n'obukonyezi bw'entebe ezirajja mu eklezia muno. Honorable Prime Minister, ntusaba otukiza okusiima kwaitu ali President wa Uganda abokutusagika abokutugonza n'abokutwebembera kurungi.
Bishop Chilabo confirmed 880 children into the Catholic faith and also commissioned St. John's Lutete Catholic Health Center, asked Christians to use it well and encouraged them to work hard and promote peace. Monsignor Peter Kaberenge, Episcopal Vicar, Kagadi Vicariate, and also a parish priest, St. Mary's Kagadi Catholic Church, has promoted education, health, and evangelization.
Immunization can be done here. Even we donate blood so that people can be healthy. Healthy mind in the healthy body. Even Jesus himself cured the people. That's why the church comes out with these 3 things: evangelization, that is the church; education, those are schools; and health. That's why we build such health centers. And the church also wants health people.
Meanwhile, the health center for in charge at St. John's Lutete, Dr. Aaron David Motegeki, says the health center, which started 3 months ago, has treated over 400 people. The newly confirmed children pledged to exhibit respect, kindness, hard work, and obedience to church authority.
Now moving on from that, the East African community has deployed 15 election observation teams to observe Kenya's general election set for Tuesday, August the 9th. Flagging off the teams from the EAC Election Observation Mission headquarters in Nairobi on Saturday, August the 6th, the head of the Regional Bloc's Election Observer Mission, former Tanzanian President Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, said that the observers had undergone training over the past 5 days to enable them undertake the responsibilities as international observers observers and as EAC observers. Kikwete disclosed that the 52-strong EAC observer mission drawn from the EAC partner states and the East African Legislative Assembly was deployed in 15 teams that will cover various counties in all the regions across Kenya. Kenyans are due to vote on the 9th of August in a high-stakes election that pits Deputy President William Ruto against Raila Odinga, the veteran head of the opposition Orange Democratic Movement. Ruto will be trying for the top office for the very first time. President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is serving his second and last term, has backed the candidacy of his own long-time rival Odinga at the expense of his own deputy for 2 years. Now Odinga will be making his 5th bid to lead East Africa's largest economy. Still about Kenya, Kenya goes to the polls next week on Tuesday, the 9th of August 2022. In Kenya, like it is in Uganda, general elections are held after every 5 years. However, the incumbent President Uhuru Kenyatta is not eligible for a third term as stated by the country's laws. As of the 6th of June 2022, only 4 presidential aspirants and their running mates had been cleared. These are David Waihiga Mwaure, leader of Agano Party, Raila Odinga, former Prime Minister of Kenya and leader of Orange Democratic Movement, and Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance, William Ruto, current Deputy President as well of Kenya and leader of United Democratic Alliance, and George Wajakoya, leader of Roots Party of Kenya, as you're about to watch.
I'm Vincent Macquarie, VOA Africa, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya. Today is Saturday. It is the final day for all campaigns. I'm here at Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi, where supporters of William Ruto, one of the top presidential candidates, have gathered here to listen to him on his final campaign rally.
On Tuesday, the people of Kenya will prevail over the deep state. The people of Kenya will prevail over the system, and we are going to have a nation that leaves no Kenyan behind.
And as he holds his rally here, the other top presidential candidate, Raila Odinga, is holding a similar presidential rally, a similar final rally at another stadium, Kasarani, which is on the opposite side of this particular stadium.
Fellow Kenyans, as you go to the ballot on Tuesday, I want you to know that we as a country are at inflection point. Either something very good will happen or something terrible will happen.
So, just to update you, on Saturday is the final day for all campaigns, and then there will be a break on Sunday and Monday, and then the Kenyans go to the polls on Tuesday to decide who's going to be the president for the next 5 years. Well, I'm Vincent Macquarie, VOA News, coming to you from Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi, Kenya.
Well, all that will come to an end on Tuesday, the 9th of August 2022, once Kenya goes to the polls and decides who the next president is. Moving on from Kenya, the Archbishop of Uganda, His Grace Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, has urged Christians in Bukedi Diocese to prepare for a new diocese going to be carved out of Bukedi Diocese. During his first pastoral visit to Budaka, Kibuku and Toro, His Grace Dr. Kazimba Mugalu asked Christian leaders in Bukedi Diocese to initiate various development projects in preparation for new dioceses. Details follow. We'll be having the updates on that story later in our 10 p.m. bulletin. We're sorry about that. But in the early 70s, after 10 years into post-independent Uganda, the third president of the Republic of Uganda ordered the expulsion of Asians in Uganda, giving them 90 days to leave the country. Now, in today's episode of Commander-in-Chief, we relay to you what transpired 50 years ago at City Square when the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Idi Amin Dada, told the world that he was giving Uganda back to ethnic Ugandans.
Welcome to Commander-in-Chief Files, and in this episode of CNC Files, we bring you reasons for the expulsion of Asians given by the Commander-in-Chief, His Excellency General Idi Amin, the President of the Republic of Uganda, from 1971 to 1979. In early August 1972, the President of Uganda, Idi Amin, ordered the expulsion of his country's Asian minority, giving them 90 days to leave the country. At the time of the expulsion, there were about 80,000 individuals of Indian descent, mostly Gujaratis, in Uganda, of whom 23,000 had their applications for citizenship both processed and accepted. Although the latter were ultimately exempted from the expulsion, many chose to leave voluntarily. The expulsion took place against a backdrop of Indophobia in Uganda, with President Amin accusing the Asian population of disloyalty, non-integration, and commercial practice, claims that Indian leaders disputed. President Amin defended the expulsion by arguing that he was giving Uganda back to ethnic Ugandans.
In this connection, I wish to make it clear that any public officer or any member of the armed forces is free to resign or retire from his post and take up business full time. Indeed, the government would welcome such a move, as it is important that capable people should not only work in government but also in the private sector if our economy is to be effectively controlled by our people. This is even more important at the present time when we are in the process of transferring the control of our economy into the hands of our indigenous people. But no one will be allowed to acquire more than one business, industry, or buildings. To assist government in carrying out this exercise smoothly and equitably, forms have been prepared which I believe you are already familiar with as a result of the meeting which you had with my ministers this morning. I would like to take this opportunity to advise the outgoing Asians that it is
in their own interest that they fill the appropriate forms as a matter of urgency to enable their property to be disposed of as soon as possible.
Many of those expelled were citizens of the United Kingdom and colonies, and 27,200 migrated to the United Kingdom. Of other refugees who were accounted for, 6,000 went to Canada, 4,500 refugees ended up in India, and 2,500 went to nearby Kenya or Pakistan. In total, some 5,655 farms, ranches, and agricultural estates were relocated, along with cars, homes, and other household goods.
Well, a beautiful piece to take us back to the times when that happened and what is transpiring exactly with the Asians today, that they're now acceptably living in Uganda. Moving on from that, Bishop Stewart, University alumni and UBC West MP Kano staff have participated in a friendly football match as one of the week-long university's charter celebration activities. Now, sorry about that, the Archbishop of Uganda, His Excellence, His Grace Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalu has urged Christians in Bukedde Diocese to prepare for a new diocese going to be carved out of Bukedde Diocese. Now, during his first pastoral visit to Budaka, Kibuku and Toro, His Grace Dr. Kazimba Mugalu asked Christian leaders in Bukedde Diocese to initiate various development projects in preparation of new dioceses.
It was jubilations across Bukedde Diocese as Christians received the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, His Grace Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, who visited Chibuku and Budaka districts in North Bukedde Zone and Tororo district in Central Bukedde Zone. Following the concern by Christians led by the Bishop of Bukedde Diocese, the Right Reverend Samuel Bogere echoed the need to create a new diocese from Bukedde.
This area is very big. These are many dioceses. It is viable to have another diocese, but at the same time, we shall not just put a diocese for the sake of putting a diocese. That's why we're encouraging those areas to work hard, to stop talking about having a diocese. They should work, have requirements in place, houses, residences, the good churches, not only.
Dr. Kazimba Mugalu urged the Christians to make prior arrangements for quality service delivery.
I have seen it say big diocese, a big one. I think in the future the need to create another diocese definitely will be given attention. My advice to the diocese is to work hard to ensure they have where they will expect another headquarter to be, house of the bishop, office, and other. Because if I tell them now you must have your bishop, where are they going to house him? Where are the headquarters? So I think they need to be prepared.
During his visit to Tororo, Dr. Kazimba commissioned a new classroom block at Chisoko Boys Primary School constructed by the NRM Electoral Commission chairperson, Dr. Tango Doi, and also the old boy of the school.
He said, this is where you start your journey. And when he came of age, he told me, do for me one memorial thing. Build for Chisoko Boys a P1 and P2 block in memory of where you started. And name it after me.
Allow me to appreciate our dear brother, Tango Doi, for the great work we have done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kale kakati njagala kizimbe kino kiteekako ejjinja mu linnya lya kitaffe omwana omwoyo mutukuvu.
Sudat Kaye, Yiga Muhammad, UBC News.
Bishop Stuart University alumni and UBC West Epikahano staff have participated in a friendly football match as one of the week-long university's charter celebration activities. The annual event is meant to celebrate the charter certificate by National Council of Higher Education. Take a look.
The Vice Chairperson, Bishop Stuart University Council, Karen Ayevaziwe, has congratulated Bishop Stuart University upon achieving the 7th charter year.
UBC in Kahona, this is your home. So we invite you to be part of us. And in any case, I think there is they are admitting students. So you can come and be part of us. We have very nice courses. We have other people who are sponsoring students. You can also be one of them.
This was during a friendly football match between the university and UBC West Epikahona, one of the week-long activities marking the university's 7th charter year.
Members from UBC, we thank you as alumni because this is bringing togetherness. And we pledge that if you invite us as alumni, we shall be there.
The University Vice Chancellor, Professor Kamatenesi Mauda, advised the public to be morally upright in order to keep up with the fast-changing world.
So much for coming to BSU. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say we are really honored by your presence here. And alumni, I want to assure you that this is your university you belong. There is nothing that you can cherish as being an alumnus of an institution. It gave you a document that you can present somewhere and they open doors for you.
The station manager, UBC West Epikahona, Agre Balusha, thanked Bishop Stuart University and her alumni for associating the station in most of its activities.
Just like we've seen the alumni play, we expect that the good performance is also extended to community service. I want to encourage the current students to borrow a leaf from your alumni. Our relationship with BSU is not all about this football, it's not all about the sport adverts, but it's about so many things. We have actually started admitting interns.
The crowd puller friendly match took place at Bishop Stuart University's Riverside Complex Stadium, and the Bishop Stuart University alumni emerged the victor, beating UBC West Epikahona 2-1.
A wildlife conservator at the World Animal Protection Center, Edith Kabesime, says a number of wildlife are set for extinction unless tough measures are put in place. The lion, also known as the king of the jungle, is one of the animals set for extinction. As the world celebrates the Lion Day on the 10th of August this week, Ugandans have been advised to join the campaign to conserve the world's second largest cat, the lion.
Wildlife conservation is key to sustainable ecological management of nature. However, due to man's encroachment on natural reserves and insatiable greed for wealth, a number of wildlife species, including some big cats, are facing extinction. A campaign manager at World Animal Protection, Edith Kabesime, now wants stakeholders to embrace environmental conservation practices for the sake of protecting nature for generations.
We are now saying that actually, as human beings, we are witnessing what we call the sixth extinction, whereby we are seeing the fastest rate of extinction of species, the fastest rate of environmental degradation, disappearance of habitats, the sparing of species, and all this largely aided by man.
Kabesime says the world is yet to experience harsh weather if nothing is done to address human-wildlife conflicts emanating from conservation areas' encroachment.
Those are some of the human-induced threats that affect wildlife, because in those forests there used to be animals. And that's why, for instance, Kampala is called Kampala, because there used to be impala. I believe that is why maybe Chenjojo is called Chenjojo because there used to be so many elephants.
Edith Kabesime says biodiversity loss has a big impact on arable land, settlements, economic gains, and national heritage.
If we talk about, for instance, the Albertine area, where we are now as Uganda looking to develop our oil sector, it is one of the biodiversity hotspots. That's where you find the elephants, you find the chimpanzees, you find the giraffes, the entire of that Albertine area, elephants and the rest. And what are we doing? Of course, those human-induced developments are going to displace some animals.
Kabesime says the number of lions in Africa are on a stable decline and appeals to all stakeholders to embrace wildlife conservation.
On the African continent, over the last maybe 50 years or so, we have lost lions have lost close to 90% of their original habitat. Lions are extinct in the 26 countries where they formerly existed.
Great Lakes Safaris Managing Director Amos Wekesa wants Ugandans to preserve the lions jealously.
The money I spend along the route as I go to see the lion is the money that is counted towards the conservation, towards the lion. That means 10 lions in a year bring us $1 million. And how many tomato growers will grow tomatoes to make $1 million that come from foreign? It's very difficult. But so the lions are a very quick way of a country earning money.
The Wildlife Conservation Society Country Director Simon Takoze Chibina says Uganda has about 400 lions left in the wild.
And we did the lion census in Murchison Falls National Park, Depot Valley National Park, and Queen Elizabeth National Park. At that time, Queen Elizabeth National Park had 144 individuals, and the other two protected areas, Depot Valley National Park and Murchison Falls National Park, each had 132.
As Uganda joins the rest of the world to mark the International Lions Protection Day, it is important to address issues and policies that favor their existence. Sudat Kaye, Douglas Setumba, UBC News.
Students from vocational training schools have been cautioned against laziness but rather apply skills acquired for development. The resident district commissioner Nebi said this at the graduation of Providence Vocational School in Nebi Town Council.
I'm not a graduate. I'm going to depend on my own.
Actually, the skills are very good. It is going to help me.
The resident district commissioner, Nebi Robert Abak, has expressed concerns over laziness exhibited by youths who graduate from vocational schools and are unable to put what they have learned into practice. The RDC was speaking during graduation of Providence Vocational School in Nebi.
Poor attitude towards work. Research has shown that work done by one Kenyan, if you want the same amount of work to be done in Uganda, you put there 6 people. Some of you are going out tailors, but don't be a tailor who is always behind the building. When customers come, they must first shout, "Gloria, where are you?" Then you should also answer, "Who is this one?"
Nebi District Chairman Emmanuel Orombi challenged young people to be serious with skills development through vocational institutions as they are preferred more in the current employment opportunities.
Scaling is so key. Why? It's because even in the army they need these people more than us who talk here.
The principal of Providence Vocational School, Brother Ambrose Mwebaze, asked the graduates to take advantage of parish development model from their respective parishes in order to raise capital to practice their skills in communities. Providence Vocational School was started in 2014 by sisters and daughters of Providence with Bishop Lilo Wanok of Lira Diocese.
2014, Bishop Wanok had asked us to come to West Nile, to Nebi, to start a project, a school, if possible, for the marginalized, for all those children who had dropped out of school and who had no longer skills and were loitering around and so on.
Nebi Diocesan Education Secretary Sister Mary Amoni thanked the government and the President of Uganda for supporting the institute.
We started under the trees, like Sister said, in the shade,
And in 2017, we had a major fundraising. We cannot forget also to give credit to the president. Even before the school was known, registered or licensed, the president contributed.
A total of 186 students graduated after being certified by Directorate of Industrial Training in tailoring and garment cutting, carpentry and joinery, hairdressing, catering and cosmetology. Joseph Odamam, UBC News in Nebi.
Well, congratulations to all the graduates from Provis Vocational School. Moving on from that, the Supreme Leader of Ahmadiyya Muslim community worldwide, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmed, has appreciated the moral conduct of Muslim women that attended the 56th annual convention in the United Kingdom. Hazrat asked the Ahmadiyya community to instill the love of prophets in the children and also emulate their examples. Take a look.
The annual gathering of the Ahmadiyya community in the United Kingdom has continued to attract several enthusiasts as it preaches the spirit of brotherhood. Day 2 of the 56th annual convention has been embraced with a number of dignitaries, with the Supreme Leader of the Ahmadiyya community preaching brotherhood. The Supreme Leader of the Ahmadiyya community worldwide, Hazrat Masroor Ahmed, expressed the need to teach women about the Ahmadiyya sect to enable them benefit from their faith.
The ladies of our community and those whose attachment is with the history, which gives us this true role of Muslim women within the Islamic State and Islamic society. I've taken some excerpts and extracts from the life of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, alayhi salatu wasalam. I have also taken some examples from the time of the Prince Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, and all those that followed. I had to prioritize and choose a few extracts, and this shows that Islam, right from its inception, right from the beginning, Islam has placed a woman and has placed a woman's role right in the center of society.
Jalsa Salana 56th Convention is going on in the United Kingdom with the aim of uniting the Ahmadiyya community worldwide.
It is full of wisdom. It is full of guidance. It is full of a peaceful way of life. Especially significantly from women's perspective, that is going to be very helpful to men, because one of the major challenges nowadays is the family setup, and women really, they are very fundamental to us, the peace of the house. So if women can pick the messages of His Holiness today, it's not going to only benefit the women, but it's going to benefit the men, it's going to benefit the children.
Expulsion on the sacrifices that ladies of Islam, of Jamaat Ahmadiyya has contributed to the...
So that Kai, UBC News.
56% of Ugandan's population is below the age of 18, with over 15,000 of these living on the streets and in the ghettos. During daytime, they're visibly seen on the streets, walking aimlessly, sometimes committing crime. Now, children living on city streets and in the ghettos in Uganda are mainly pushed there by unbearable conditions of poverty, homelessness, domestic violence and other circumstances like drug abuse.
Most of the street children are already sited in densely populated areas and are subjected to dangerous living conditions like failing to access basic health, violence and drug abuse. The rights of street children remain threatened by the public because they are inadequately supervised and protected by the concerned authorities.
We don't want to see this imbalance. We don't want to see these inequalities amongst Ugandans. We don't want to see a certain group of people being discriminated because of their social financial standing. And so we're trying to do our best. And so the Commission normally is doing a lot of work regarding children. It's doing a lot of work to see that every child who is on the streets is not on the streets. Is doing a lot of work to see that every child who is at home who is facing challenges, we can find a way on how to help that child. Because we cut across.
The government rehabilitates and empowers those children rescued from streets as long as they cooperate and get organized in their vocational centers.
When they get on streets and they see life is very difficult on streets here, then when government comes and tells who wants to go back to their homes, some of them are willing and ready, and they are repatriated back to their homes. And sometimes they are taken to rehabilitation centers. We have so many rehabilitation centers in Entebbe, we have one in Mpigi. So government looks at, and we have many vocational training institutes.
City authorities have tried to protect these street children by unveiling the law that restricts the careless parents and guardians who expose such children to streets.
The law was officially unveiled because it went through all the processes, and officially now we are saying yes, we now have a law that is going to protect the children. And we are starting on the mechanisms of making sure that we sensitize the public about this law, because many people in Kampala do not know about the child protection ordinance that we have. So yes, we know children have their rights. Children have their, for example, these children that are on the streets, we know they are supposed to be in school. And as cases here, we have at least tried to train some of them. We know that these are children that are also supposed to be enjoying the love of their parents.
Despite the challenges associated with the street life, the initiative of vulnerable children and a community-based organization in partnership with Tell Story Foundation have tried to extend some help to these marginalized groups in order to improve their standards of living. They affirm that the circumstances that push these children on city streets are definitely beyond their control.
Kubanzikiriza nti waliwo abaana abadde ku street nga bayambiddwako abantu ab'enjawulo muzira kisa ne babazaayo ku masomero ne basoma naddala pastors abamu ne babazaayo ku masomero ne basoma ne bafuuka ab'omugaso mu ggwanga n'ebitongole ebyenjawulo tulina kye bayita MLSADA muno mu Kampala Central era mu Mengo Parish tulina MyDel Mengo Youth Development Link abalina institution technical eziyamba abaana baneeno we basobola obateeka ne bayiga ebyemikono ne bayiga ebintu ebyenjawulo ne bayiga okubajja batwala mu gonde mu bitundu ng'ababazi gye bali ne bayiga n'okubajja ne basobola okuba nga beebeezaawo era.
Through storytelling, we have managed to work with mainly marginalized groups of people, including children with autism, children with albinism, and now currently children living on the streets. So it's through storytelling that we have got to appreciate the beauty of our own lives as humans, and through storytelling we have encouraged people to speak up on the issues that are affecting them.
These street children and ghetto boys inevitably receive the word of God. This helps to shape their discipline and it keeps them hopeful.
You know, being on a street, it's like living in a jungle. You have to look for your own food. So some kids get bad behaviors, get bad morals. So in a way of reaching out to them, what I do is to tell them about God, to tell them about Jesus, to tell them about the Christian way of life. Because there could be another way of life, but there is another way of life, which is Jesus' way of life.
Delving deeper in my search, I find out that city authorities take off Kampala streets 100 street children on average per month. The question is, how can one guarantee the safety of these kids?
A big percentage, they are trafficked and brought here. So some of these children have been reunited with their families in Karamoja. Some of these children have been taken to homes for children. And currently there is also a home in a park for children that are taken off the streets. And of course KCC has, the home in a park is being manned by the Ministry of Gender. And KCC has been facilitating, maybe in terms of feeding, we have been supporting that way. So I cannot guarantee that these children are 100% safe.
The ones who are above 15 years are normally taken to vocational training schools so that they can learn something and be useful Ugandans. Then the ones who are below 15 years are normally taken back to schools. They are taken back to their families so that they are reunited back. And government is working very hard to see that our children live a desired proper life.
It is evident that street children go through a psychological dilemma due to hard situations they go through in their day-to-day life. The question remains, how can we turn the street children into a useful human capital of the nation? Ivan Tukundane in Kampala.
Thank you so much, Ivan Tukundane, for that wonderful story on street children, and we hope that KCCA still puts in a lot of effort with the Ministry of Gender to make sure that they get back to their parents, or at least the numbers get to decrease on the streets of Kampala. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with more news.
Vimba! Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
Children are a special gift, one we must protect and nurture with care. Ensuring your child has a birth certificate opens doors for them that would otherwise be hard to access, such as immunization, school admission, or simply proving their age and belonging. Let us do our duty as parents and guardians by registering our children and getting them birth certificates. For more information, visit the NERA office closest to you or call the toll-free number 0800-211-700. This message is brought to you by NERA.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs, and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
Meet Professor Petero. He knows something every hustler in UG is gonna love.
Oh, see. You see, I was just trying to get the documents to register for Airtel Money.
You don't need the documents. You just say to register.
What's going on here? He sells things from the shop, and behind my back, he gets the money and gives it to his girlfriends.
But just get Airtel Money Pay so that all money comes direct to your business wallet, and only you, the owner, have access to it. Just dial *185 *10 hash, and now you are on. No waiting. Huh? This insanity is sweet. Give them also.
I only take Airtel Money Pay. It's easy and secure.
Yes, become a safer and more efficient cash-free business today. Easy. Not mixing your business money with your Kameza money. No, that's efficient. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
National Council for Higher Education will hold the 4th Annual Higher Education Conference on the 14th and 15th September 2022. The conference theme is Enhancement of Teaching, Learning and Assessment with Ordeal in Higher Education. The guest of honor will be the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Janet Kataha Museveni. The conference will be held physically at Hotel Africana for only invited guests and open to online participants via Zoom webinar that will be shared under the events section at www.unche.or.ug. The keynote speakers are Ezra Nazim, Senior Fellow of Higher Education Academy UK, Professor Henk Gerald Sola, a Dutch organizational theorist and Emeritus Professor of Business, Engineering and ICT at Groningen University, the Netherlands. The National Council for Higher Education is receiving papers from researchers and scholars for publication in the Uganda Higher Education Review, Journal of National Council for Higher Education. For more details, send inquiries to cmuhumuza@unche.or.ug, info@unche.or.ug, or call 0783 04 0024 or 0704 80 0926 plus 256 39 32 62 140/4.
Enjoy more GBs for the same price on Airtel. Shareable using 2 Gabonais. We have increased GBs across all your favorite packs. Now, 4 GB is at 10,000 shillings and 10.5 GB at 22,500 shillings, all valid for a week. For the heavy data users, enjoy 24 GB at 50,000 shillings and 50 GB at 100,000 shillings, all valid for a month. Dial *175# or use the My Airtel app to buy these and more affordable weekly and monthly data bundles on Airtel, the smartphone network.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight. In our business stories, the State Minister for Cooperatives, Frederick Ngobi Gume, has appealed to parliamentarians to advocate for more funding in the Muga project to enable setting up a of a Muga bank for low-income earners. Now, the minister made this appeal during the meeting with Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources, where they meet Muga beneficiaries of Busoga region.
The Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources, led by Chairperson Kefa Chiwanuka, also Member of Parliament representing Chiboga, have visited the Myoga beneficiaries in Busoga to assess performance. The Chairperson applauded the Busoga and Myoga SACCO members for utilizing Myoga funds.
You find that the money that they are given, which is 30 million, is not enough. There is a question of how we should be responding to that. The 30 million definitely needs to be increased. And I think that's how they came in to talk about the additional 200 billion that is required. Some groups have more members than what had actually been anticipated.
Some of the Myoga beneficiaries appreciated government for introducing this project that has enabled them to improve on their income.
The SACCO has secured the markets of the products to other countries like Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and Saudi Arabia.
We try to mobilize our total saving 34,491,000.
Some members of the committee are unhappy with the performance of the Myoga in some regions.
What affirmative action do you have in plan to resolve that problem where Northern Uganda is not doing well?
I saw that recoveries were 15%.
The bankers here can advise whether that is a normal rate. We might be counting what we don't have.
The State Minister for Cooperatives, Frederick Ngobi Gume, warned those that are misusing Emyoga funds.
This is the best way. It is the best way our people in the villages, in towns, organized groups can access cheap credit. They can use and pay back. When you take 8% per annum, they are giving out money at 0.8 or 0.9 per month. This is very good for us, and we want to encourage, and as government, we think this is the best way we can achieve in fighting the middlemen. That is my problem. The middlemen have exploited our farmers in the absence of credit.
The Executive Director, Uganda Microfinance Support Center, said that they have put affirmative action in all regions that is yet to yield results.
There are those which are doing much better than others. For example, Western Nile is among the regions which are not doing well, and this is mainly because the circles have not developed or matured properly in that area. Would need to do much more in terms of strengthening the circles so that they can qualify for funding.
After the committee members visited works for Emyoga beneficiaries in slums of Jinja, some of the visited beneficiaries highlighted challenges they encounter. Wadulo Makanold, Sabira Andrew, UBC News.
The Oil and Gas Moment, brought to you by Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey. The oil and gas activities in Uganda are expected to create about 160,000 new jobs. Close to 70% of these jobs will
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Mbara and Jinja.
Well, that brings us to the end of UBC News Tonight at 8 p.m. My name is Sharon Kyomugisa with Mugalu Muhammad on Sign Language. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for more news coming your way, and stay tuned for more programming coming your way on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
The 28th edition of the Uganda Manufacturers Association's International Trade Fair will be different as Uganda marks the 60th anniversary, the Diamond Jubilee. The trade fair comes after a 2-year break brought about by the global COVID-19 pandemic. In the last 2 years, there have been several innovations across the industry. This is an opportunity to showcase what the market has. Come display, come explore, come see, come experience. Come learn and be part of the Diamond Jubilee Trade Fair at Uganda Manufacturers Association Showgrounds from 3rd to 10th October. Contact our marketing department and experience the Diamond Jubilee Trade Fair. Let's harness economic recovery through local sourcing and deepening value